Imagine the ground suddenly shaking beneath your feet, buildings sway, the earth rumbles, and objects crash to the floor. That's an earthquake. It's a sudden, violent shaking of the ground caused by movements deep inside the earth. The earth's outermost layer is not one solid piece, but rather like a giant jigsaw puzzle, with pieces called tectonic plates. These plates are constantly moving, very slowly, pushing against each other, pulling apart or sliding alongside. Most of the time, we don't feel these movements, but sometimes the pressure between these plates becomes too much, and they slip past each other suddenly, releasing a tremendous amount of energy. This energy travels through the earth as waves, causing the ground to shake. Think of it like bending a twig. As you bend it, energy builds up. Eventually, the twig snaps, releasing the stored energy. Earthquakes are similar. The sudden release of energy causes the ground to shake, just like the snapping of the twig. The main cause of earthquakes is the movement of these tectonic plates. This is a natural process that has been happening for millions of years. The areas where these plates meet are called fault lines, and these are the zones where earthquakes are most likely to occur. Sometimes the plates get stuck as they move past each other and pressure builds up. When the plates finally slip, an earthquake happens. But it's not just natural forces that can cause earthquakes. Human activities can also play a role. Activities like drilling for oil and gas, injecting fluids into the ground, and even building large dams can change the pressure underground, triggering earthquakes. These are called induced earthquakes. Imagine squeezing a tube of toothpaste too hard. The pressure inside builds until the toothpaste bursts out. Similarly, human activities can increase pressure underground, leading to earthquakes. Earthquakes can happen anywhere in the world, but they are most common in specific areas. These are the regions located along the boundaries of tectonic plates. One famous example is the Ring of Fire, a zone around the Pacific Ocean where many earthquakes and volcanoes occur. Another example is the Himalayan mountain range, formed by the collision of the Indian and Eurasian plates. This ongoing collision makes the region prone to powerful earthquakes. The San Andreas Fault in California is another well-known fault line where the Pacific plate slides past the North American plate, causing frequent earthquakes. Think of these fault lines as cracks on a hard-boiled egg. Just like the cracks are weak points on the egg, fault lines are weak points in the Earth's crust. We measure the strength of earthquakes using two main scales, magnitude and intensity. Magnitude measures the energy released at the earthquake source, which we call the focus. It's measured using the Richter scale, and this scale is logarithmic. So what that means is each whole number increase on the scale represents a 10-fold increase in the amplitude of the seismic waves. Now, intensity, on the other hand, measures the effects of an earthquake at a particular location on the Earth's surface. It's determined by observing the impact on people, buildings, and, the environment around us. The intensity scale that's most commonly used is the modified Mercalli intensity scale, which ranges from 1, meaning not felt, to 12, which is total destruction. Imagine a pebble dropped in a pond versus a large rock. The rock creates larger waves with more energy, and that's similar to how a higher magnitude earthquake releases more energy. Earthquakes can be scary, but there are things we can do to stay safe. If you feel the ground shaking, the most important thing is to drop, cover, and hold on. First, drop to your hands and knees. This protects you from falling, but lets you move if needed. Next, cover your head and neck with your arms to protect yourself from falling debris. If possible, crawl under a sturdy table or desk for some added protection. Then, hold onto your shelter until the shaking stops. Also, be prepared for aftershocks, which are smaller earthquakes that can happen after the main quake. Before an earthquake even occurs, prepare your home by securing heavy objects, making an emergency plan with your family, and having a disaster kit ready. Remember, knowing what to do during an earthquake can save your life. So, stay calm, follow these safety tips, and remember that preparation is really key to staying safe during an earthquake.